Good afternoon. It is 5 o'clock and 01 minutes, and 01 seconds London time. Actually, it is just the pillar signature move to be fashionably late. And apologies, but then again, if we weren't late, you wouldn't know it was us. It could have been imposters. And again, this is the first AGM for us for the year, and this is an occasion that we look forward to in excitement, at the same time in earnest, in connecting with our community and reporting what we've done, recapping what we've done, and highlighting what we aim to do in the next year. So obviously, in terms of the recap, before I go into it, the same format we'll follow today. I will recap a little bit of 2019, then we'll go through the details of 2020, what we have in store for us. The biggest milestone in 2019 has been the downloads of our wallets. And it has been pretty much a year-end, 1 month since we've gone live, because we went live in December 2018. So 2019 marked pretty much the birth of our wallet and our ecosystem. And it did coincide with the worst bear market we've seen in the crypto space, 2018 and 2019. And with that, getting 59,000 downloads is a big achievement, especially when we have made sure that we didn't use a lot of our funds in the marketing effort, in the effort to get adoption. That's because we wanted our product to follow the market trend, at the same time our marketing efforts to follow our product. So 59,000 downloads was achieved. And how? In 2019, one thing we've done is we have reduced our operational expenditure. How? Through various efficiency measures in terms of reorganizing our team, tapping into talents worldwide, reorganizing the whole team, meaning from the management to all the development team, the technical team, and collaborating with teams outside of the UK, global teams. And also the fact that the technology space has begun to mature has been our great asset as well. And as such, as you can see on the graph, as we started getting more and more adoption, our operational expenditure started getting lower and lower. And that is, again, a good achievement in terms of us doing, handling the project and managing the project with efficiency. So let's recap. What have we done? We had 16 targets for 2019. Out of those, we've made 13 of those targets. Out of the 13 targets, 9 have graduated from our early access program and they're live. 4 of them are in our early access program. This is, again, a tremendous achievement. At the same time, it gives us room to reflect as to why we didn't meet those 4, and that is something we are working on to enhance and improve in the coming year. What do we expect then in the coming year? We've got a bold statement for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We project that we will have a 10x growth in the next year. That is a bold statement, but that's what we aim to do, and that's what we target to do. What that means is we'll maintain the trajectory that we have in terms of our controlling our operational expenditure, but at the same time, attaining such a growth rate. How are we going to do that? There are various ways for us to do that, and I think the best person to explain our product and how our product would evolve will be Drew. And guys, have we got Drew on Zoom as usual? Oh, I'm sorry, we've actually got him in person here. Welcome to London, Drew.
Awesome, thank you. Hey everyone, I'm excited to be here in person and to talk to you guys about what our 2020 roadmap is going to look like. If I can get there. Here we go. All right, so yeah, you know, reflecting a little bit, last year we established some really strong technical partnerships and laid ground core wallet functionality in a tremendous way. We're really looking to extend those industry partnerships even further this year. Um, you know, consistent attendance, following the trends of the market, doing the crypto conference circuit, being present at hackathons has all been really critical in raising awareness, in understanding the evolution of both the technology, emerging standards, and what's happening in the space to make sure that we stay in lockstep. And that's going to continue to be an effort of ours this year. We're also going to be placing a really strong focus and emphasis on distribution opportunities, and particularly adoption, product adoption, as a way to expose new audiences and increase the growth of the product. So let's start a little bit with some of the unfinished business. As Michael touched on, we have some of our functionality and features that are still sitting in our early access program. Others that we didn't get to, some of which were actually a conscious choice, which I'll touch on. But first and foremost, the biggest things that we were really excited about in introducing this last year were this migration and introduction of smart contract wallets, or what we're, smart contract accounts rather, and what we're calling Smart Wallet, and also the Pillar Payment Network, which is our layer 2 payment network solution. It's important to understand that there are lots of moving pieces in terms of making this functionality and these features all work together seamlessly with clean UX, making it intuitive for the user, and simple. So one of the things that's really important in order to enable that and is going to empower this entire thing is meta transactions, meaning the ability to actually pay for all your network transactions, meaning gas and contract deployments, directly with the Pillar token. Another really exciting thing that we're proud to introduce is late last year we were able to secure the pillar.eth ENS domain. If you're not sure or aware of what ENS is, it's the Ethereum name service, which allows it's a service that allows us to and other developers to put human readable addresses and attach those to the alphanumeric string that you see as your current address. What this means specifically to you is your username in the Pillar wallet will now be a subdomain under the pillar.eth domain, ENS domain. So if your username was Alice in the wallet, your new address in the Pillar wallet, which maps to your alphanumeric, no need to deal with migration of addresses or anything, would be alice.pillar.eth. So again, this is part of our effort to extend the product and make it really human-friendly and make it usable for non-crypto natives as well as those that are more technically savvy. Another really big focus and effort, particularly on the design side of things and by our design team, was the creation of a specific design system to accommodate all the needs in our application. This allows for us to quickly and easily update button colors, placement, copy, various other things, and allows us to make changes to the UX and the UI more efficiently. Specifically, this allows for something which I'm personally really excited about, and that is dark mode. So in addition to having that bright white minimalist look that you already have with Pillar, you're going to be able to have now a dark mode. So all the night owls, those of you who are checking your assets or looking at portfolio pricing in bed at night, you're now going to have a dark screen. It's not going to hurt your eyes. The other great thing about the design system and what it empowers is internationalization. What this means is the ability for us to introduce the product to new markets. Essentially, we're able to completely transcribe everything to new languages. This is obviously an opportunity for us to reach new audiences, and along with this, we'll be introducing new base currencies for portfolio and asset tracking against the fiat values of those assets. We'll likely start on more Latin-based languages initially, but we have a huge market and adoption from all over the world, so we're looking to be able to support all those users. Another kind of really important focus for us, going back to those core features of the smart wallet and the PLR payment network, are our partnership with the Abridge.io team, and also a emerging partnership with Connects. Starting with the Abridge team, the Abridge team was, and technology was something we identified early last year as a really exciting emerging tech around making smart contract account management, layer 2 channel deployments, and things very easy and robust. So through all our testing in the last year with them, they've actually been able to develop a complete new V2 of their SDK, which we're going to be working really closely to upgrade and introduce to our users, which again increases use, extensibility. Specifically, you'll be able to do stuff in the PLR payment network where the PLR token will automatically be deposited back into your tank without needing to settle it first. For the PLR payment network and Connects, this is an effort to actually extend the usability and access to the PLR payment network beyond our ecosystem. Connects is another layer 2 state channel solution, and they are developing a platform that allows for interoperability across different wallets, different dApps, and meaning we'll be able to, and they're working and collaborating with other projects to build what's considered a generalized state channel standard. This is being supported by a number of projects, and what it'll mean is, again, complete interoperability throughout the industry, as well as the ability for us to move data across this network, not just payments. So things like game state, personal information, IoT, smart device information, all these things will be coming. The PPN is a big focus for us, and we see this more and more focus being placed there, and we're excited to explore the opportunities, which I know Michael's going to be touching on a little bit later as well. Another piece or a piece of functionality and feature that we're really excited to introduce last year was our offers engine. Our offers engine is essentially an aggregate of decentralized marketplaces, token swap protocols and services that enable our users, based on their parameter, what they're looking for, how much, to see all the available offers and choose the one that is the best price or meets their needs best. We are already in the process of integrating 4 brand new partners who you'll see on the screen behind us, including Kyber, Bancor, AirSwap, and 1inch, which in and of themselves are an aggregate. It's quite interesting. We also have other integrations planned, other partners. The recent introduction, or rather announcement of the 0x API, really excited to explore all these. Another thing we're focused on is introducing notifications directly for exchanges that occur through the offers engine. We've heard this request from our community, we've listened to you guys, and we're going to be working on that. It's a tricky one just because of the intricacies of all the different operators that we have as partners in the offers engine, but we're gonna make it happen for you. In conjunction with that is the ability to set user-selected price alerts. So you'll be able to know when a certain token price hits the price you're looking for to get in there and buy or potentially sell. Another thing is, and part of like this movement into the offers engine was a big focus on the decentralized marketplaces. This idea that the users should be in control of their assets at all times. Not your keys, not your coins, not your keys, not your assets. This is something that's been shared throughout the ecosystem and is a really important tenet to us. In conjunction with that, and along those lines, another thing we've heard from the community and we've witnessed, is the ability to enable and facilitate peer-to-peer exchanges. So we've built a smart contract escrow system that will allow users to directly trade with one another on various ERC20 tokens to start, and we're looking to explore the asset support for others moving forward. All right, let's get into some new stuff. So another thing that the smart contract wallets, the smart contract accounts, enable is this idea of recovery. I've made this, or I've used this analogy in the past, and I think it's a good way of explaining the differences and the important considerations between your legacy wallet and your smart wallet. The key-based legacy wallet is akin to a prepaid debit card, essentially. It's loaded full of funds. You have it with you, but if you were to lose it, you're basically out of luck. There's no way to recover that. It's attached to the card. It's gone. A smart wallet is more akin to your bank account, where the funds are stored in your account with your bank, and the card that's linked to it can be locked, it can be disabled, you can order a new one, revoke access to the existing, you can set specific spending limits against each one of these. PLR is very, very close to actually finishing the development of a dedicated web recovery portal. You can see a little bit of the design on the left, just a little sneak peek. But what this allows you to do is set up secondary key access, lock primary keys, and then the ability to recover from a completely new device based on that recovery setup. So if you're traveling, you lose your phone, misplace it, you can immediately go to the web recovery portal, assuming you've set it all up, and cancel that first key or lock it. And then once you get access to a new device, set it up, you're on your way. This is, lays the foundation also for something we're exploring through one of our new collaborations and partnerships, what I'll get into a little bit later, around a complete web wallet offering. So we're excited to announce that we're going to be exploring that as well. Next, in the vein of security and offering that to our users, increased security measures, is Nexus Mutual. Nexus Mutual is a smart contract insurance protocol, which insures smart contracts in the case of a bug or an exploit that siphons funds out or it causes a significant hack. This will actually be the first premium PLR account offering, and it'll be subscription-based to our users, paid for in PLR tokens. This is an exciting announcement for us because we believe this is a really great feature, but also because it's the introduction of premium account offerings, which we expect will be growing throughout this year and further into the future. All right, now even more fun stuff. Let's talk about 2020 and the themes of functionality that we're going to be really focused on. We've touched on how last year we were really focused on core wallet functionality, making sure we had strong foundations. Now, we believe we're ready to introduce some of the more important aspects that we've talked about since the beginning and some of the emerging ones that have occurred over the last few years. First and foremost, personal data locker, personal data management, and identity. So this one was actually mapped out in last year's 2019 roadmap, and the decision to postpone this was actually conscious. It was intentional. The technology around these solutions has been evolving, and the standards for self-sovereign identity and how to accomplish these things are constantly in discussion. And for PLR, and I think for our product being a consumer-facing utility for individuals, it's also, not so much about the how, but the why. What is the market use case? What's the need? We've seen great solutions already presented by Uport, Evernym, Sovereign, a variety of providers. And I think part of the problem thus far has been, okay, I can manage my data now, but what does that mean to me? What can I really do with that? And this is an ongoing conversation and narrative, and one that we're trying to be in the forefront of and lead. But we're seeing some interesting trends emerge around under-collateralized or different collateralization from the DeFi standpoint, around social organizations and using identity to verify credentials and who you are or location. And we think it's about time. We have a saying around PLR, no one cares about a driver's license, they care about driving a car. Which is not to say licensing isn't important, but it's more the what the action that's enabled by the license that's important. I have a license because I can drive a car, and empowers me to drive the car. So first and foremost, the most important piece of this whole puzzle is storage. We've identified a partner, Textile, which we're really excited to announce and talk about. They're an open source framework for decentralized storage, user management, and user siloed control over data based on IPFS. This is going to be how you store, manage, share all that good information in a secure and intuitive way. We're basically building the interface to connect to that backend open source framework. In terms of what that will look like and how those will be represented, those pieces of information, we're looking to follow the W3C DID standard, decentralized ID standard. This is a standard that's been developing over many years in conjunction with researchers, academia, recent projects, and it's one thing to be able to type in a bunch of information or claim that this is your name or your address. It's another to be able to verify that you are the owner and you have control over those things, especially when it comes to a credential standpoint. And so if you're interested in that, I suggest looking into it deeper, but we're excited to start down this path, and we're going to be taking it slow and trying to combine it with real use cases as well. Next, and one I'm personally excited about, is social organizations and DAOs. 2019, there were two really big narratives that occurred. One was around DeFi, which we're also going to get to. The other was DAOs. Speaking very literally, DAOs stand for decentralized autonomous organizations. But let's put aside the jargon for a sec, because it tends to confuse more than inform. The goal is really to use blockchain technology, decentralized technology, smart contracts, as a way to empower better human coordination. More specifically, a way to create flat hierarchies with no top-down management that are completely owned and controlled and governed by the shareholders and the members themselves. So this is something that seems easy, but has been a challenge that has plagued humanity throughout history. We believe, and we've seen some interesting frameworks emerge, some of which actually were early ICOs, more top-down driven, focused on creating really robust platforms to solve monolithic solutions related to big organizations, city governance, even maybe nation-state governance. Others have been more bottom-up and emergent, focused on kind of the primitive level, very unopinionated, and meant for application and use in a real-world settings. The framework that I'm speaking of that matches that bottom-up is the Moloch DAO framework. The two companies, or rather kind of one company, but powered by the interface, is DAO House and Pokemon. So this relationship is that DAO House has taken the Moloch DAO framework and created an easy deployer, a way for people to easily launch their own DAOs. This Pokemon is the interface that powers that kind of underlying tech and the management platform of DAO House. And this has all been great. It's really helped to push the needle forward and empower these possibilities. But we're looking to take it a step further. In conjunction with the DAO House and Pokemon team, PLR is working really closely to see if we can't build out an even more user-friendly, higher level way for individuals that are non-crypto natives to use these types of structures and these technologies to manage things within their own community. Imagine the ability for your neighborhood to pool funds and decide on the plot of land and where to possibly build a community garden or a playground. Then decide on, would you rather have a slide or a swing set? These are some very fundamental, interesting examples that I'm excited to try and bring to audiences and communities as a way to govern themselves in really secure and easy manners. We are actually toying with this ourselves, and our experimentation has started in-house through the Ambassadors group. The Ambassadors is our first DAO House Moloch DAO implementation that includes all of the PLR ambassadors. We're actually funding them directly to vote on initiatives, marketing initiatives, and ways to help us grow and empower our product and our community. So this has been really exciting, and generally we're looking at an opportunity to almost evolve the concept of a social network to what we've kind of coined an action network. And so this is a concept we're going to be exploring really closely, and something that I think plays and feeds or is fed really well by personal identity management and how those two can work together. Last and most important to a lot of you I know is the decentralized finance movement and DeFi. We've identified 4 key partners that we're excited to announce today. Likely these won't be the only ones, and we're gonna learn more as we start to implement them, but I'm gonna talk through each of these because we're really excited about it. Aave is what you would think of, they're a money market protocol and what you'd think of first when you think of DeFi, which is the ability to lend and to borrow. Most people, individuals, are on the lending side, and this is what enables you to earn passive income on assets. You're essentially lending those to market makers who are out there making the market and providing liquidity for everybody who's trading. That's where that interest comes from. They have a protocol that allows you to do this with a variety of tokens, and it's all contained within a single ERC20 token called an A token. And the cool thing about it is it allows you to see in real time that interest going up, and you'll be able to see that directly in your Pillar wallet soon. The second one is pool together. This is a concept of what's been coined by them as a no-loss lottery. I like to think of it as a prize incentivized savings account. And what this is it leverages that same concept of lending, but everybody's pooling their money together into a single pot. It's all driven by DAI, which is a dollar-pegged stablecoin on the Ethereum network. And every DAI that you place into this savings is worth 1 ticket. That ticket enables you a chance to win the pool every week. So every Friday there's a drawing, and the winner takes home the pot. The pot is basically the interest that's generated from all those pooled funds. Now, if you don't win, you still hold all your money. So you're saving money, you're building up your assets, you're being fiscally responsible, but you have this extra benefit of being entered into a potential lottery. I believe last week's was around $1,500, so it's getting pretty exciting. And this is also a chance to bring fiscal responsibility and introduce that in new ways to our users and others. Next one is Sabler. Sabler is a streaming money protocol, or what they've coined real-time finance. It was originally designed as a way to solve the problem and inefficiency with interval lump sum-based salary payments. But the reality is it's many other uses. Instead of getting paid every 2 weeks in lump sum, your employer or someone who's looking to pay you for some service can put that money into an account and have it streamed to the recipient on an hourly, minute, daily basis, and you're earning based on your work in a continuous way. We think this concept of streaming money is really, really important and powerful, and something that we're going to be introducing in a major way, applying to freelancing, legal appointments and engagement, allowance, babysitting, any sort of subscription, really. Last but not least, like to introduce token sets powered by the SET protocol. This is a little bit more of an advanced feature, and but something that we think our users are also going to find really exciting. It's a way to automate asset management and trading strategies simply by acquiring a token. What that means is the token is powered by an underlying smart contract that has pre-programmed rebalancing strategies and market activities built in. So this can allow you to do anything from buy dips, long short, stop loss, dollar cost averaging. To put it more simply, it can say, or it can be programmed into that contract based on the token just by holding it. If ETH hits $1,000, sell everything to DAI, some sort of stable coin. Lots of really exciting stuff that's happening with that. The most recent introduction is actually called social sets, which is a way for you to actually follow the direct trading strategies of top traders as well as influencers, and just by owning their token, or their set, I should say. They're opening this up also to the general community, so any individual will basically be able to create their own set and go out there and sell it to other individuals and get them on board with how they believe they can beat the market in a way. So, talked a lot about tech, product focus, themes, integration. And again, we've mentioned we really focused last year on laying a really strong foundation to the core wallet. But with that, we now believe that we can put some focus on platform distribution and acquiring new audiences in really significant ways. We're going to be collaborating with these 3 projects, and I'm going to go through each one of them individually to talk about exactly what we're doing. First and foremost is a company called One World Online. You know, a major change where personal data, personal information management, and is exploited, and there's some major changes needed, is in the broken and bloated advertising industry. One World Online has been working since 2015 on a custom platform that allows for interactive advertising placements, and they've partnered with a lot of major publishers and brands. Newsweek, IBT, Times India, you can see some of them behind me, and again, direct with other brands as well. Seen huge increased engagement from users, which obviously is great for publishers. Now the great thing too is users who take these polls, these quizzes, are directly rewarded in the One World token as well. Advertisers, when publishing with publishers or engaging with publishers, if they pay for those advertisements in the One World token, they get a discount. So that's kind of a little bit of the background on their economic model. And one thing we're really excited to talk about is we're going to be introducing Pillar as a means of payment on that platform. We're also looking to natively integrate polls and quizzes directly within the Pillar platform as a way to reward users for actually taking those polls. We can explore interesting things around products, services, feedback around various things that can become anonymized and private data set aggregates, which will also help us to kickstart and feed into the growth and emergence of the open data economy, which leads us to the Ocean Protocol. Another collaborator that we're looking to really work closely with is Ocean. Ocean's building a protocol for, again, the open data economy, including a decentralized marketplace and a tokenized service layer. They're focused very heavily on the infrastructure and technology side of it all. And the technology and solutions they've built are incredible, very, very robust. Whereas, and what they're really trying to target is these long-tail data sets that sit with companies and governments, and how those can be turned from liabilities into assets and be used to empower data scientists, machine learning, AI, to make more accurate models around these things. Pillar, on the other hand, we're very focused on empowering individual data management and monetization, even being rewarded, being an active participant in this advertising conversation, if you choose. And what's great is they're developing a new token standard for a data token that includes an encryption and decryption layer that we're going to be natively supporting as one of their wallet partners on a consumer-facing basis. And we're excited to announce that that will allow for the secure transmission across Web3 of data, and exploring how we can also build this marketplace, which is very much a chicken and egg problem, and demonstrate how that can be an asset of the future. Last but not least, I'm really happy to talk to you guys about a partnership that we've recently finalized, and we're going to be exploring with the Dank Memes community. Dank is one of the largest internet entertainment companies in the world. They produce e-commerce applications, mobile games, live events, a lot of sponsored content, and it's obviously very focused around internet pop culture and memes. In fact, they've oftentimes taken a leading narrative in social commentary. If you're familiar with the meme world, you may have heard of stonks. This is a critique, essentially, on the traditional financial industry and some of the problems there. They're the originators and creators, their community of that stonks meme. They operate around 14 popular Facebook groups with a total of 15.2 million followers and a monthly reach of over 185 million people. This is a global community spanning all regions, and more specifically, they have a 60,000 strong creator community that are really working to feed content and whatnot. What they've done is, through their mobile games, their contests and whatnot, they've introduced dank coins. These coins are essentially an in-game currency or a loyalty point that users are rewarded for participating and engaging with these properties. You can redeem them for physical goods like AirPods and game consoles and various other things. They've also recognized this opportunity in the Web3 space to introduce the world of decentralized finance and these opportunities to their community. And so as a way to do this, they're creating an ERC20 token, which is one-to-one pegged to their in-game currency loyalty point coin. This bridge that allows users to move that coin to their token is the partnership that we're going to be working with them in conjunction with our partners, the Abridged.io teams, as the premier wallet offering for this community. It's going to be focused around a web wallet primarily, and that's part of the introduction of this web wallet that I mentioned earlier. And we're extremely excited because we believe blockchain and decentralized technologies are, they're tools of the future. They're tools for the next generation. And this community, as you can imagine, is primarily youth, 18 to 24, 35. And by capturing those individuals, not only will we be able to build strong brand loyalties, but we can help educate them in terms of why it's so important to not only have control over your financial assets, but control over your personal data. And we're really excited to partner with them and to empower their community in new ways and introduce this entire Web3 world to them. In conjunction with a lot of the early access and that kind of big push that's going to be coming shortly, we've mentioned in the past how we have our referral program that we've been working on. We're really, really excited to announce that we'll be offering this in conjunction with this full production rollout and release of those features that are currently in early access, along with some of those earlier ones that work in conjunction with those. And what this means, more specifically to you, is you will be directly rewarded with some pillar tokens for inviting new members to our without having to put their own skin in the game, I guess. And for communities like Dank that really aren't really sure, or this is completely new to them, this is going to be a perfect kind of complement and match. And to talk a little bit more about these marketing initiatives and others that are following, and specifically how marketing has continued to follow product and build us up, I'd like to introduce Jack and bring him up to the microphone.
Thank you so much, Drew. Real pleasure to be here, especially if there's such big announcements that we've made. Thank you for that, and thank you for all these weeks of hard work that we have behind us. I don't trust all these machines, so I'll go with then my analog notebook just so I make sure that I don't miss anything. Yeah, to start with, in 2020, marketing is still going to follow the product, but it's going to be a way different story because now the marketing is built into the product strategy. And efforts like mentioned internationalization, like referral program that you see here, DAO efforts, and especially partnerships that we're lining up are presenting a strategic marketing opportunity for Pillar and are opening new markets and new audiences to get an exposure. Next one. The specific number we're looking at is 30 million users, creators, publishers, subscribers, different individuals and communities across the social media and general space. What we think about when we're seeing these partnerships is that we want to grow through adoption. We want to grow through communities. So we would like to approach communities which might have some needs or might have some problems to solve and act as this tool which unlocks, for example, in case of Dank community, to unlock this inner economy and open the crypto world to kind of interact with this economy that they have there. For example, with One World Token, we can open new markets and basically engage the audience that has no crypto relation before. And finally, with Ocean Protocol, the third big partnership that we've announced, we're able to rejoin this conversation on privacy, on data misuse, so where Pillar really belongs and where all of us made this decision to get involved in this project and try to change something in the world. It's all pretty exciting for marketing because we are now in a way different position that we've been a year ago, and we can easily leave this just the wallet category, which we really want to do. So as it was shown as on the slides before, the wish or the objective for the company, for the project, is to grow 10 times. Marketing is here to facilitate that and to kind of make sure that we're providing other departments of the company, of the project, with the right tools and with right data to optimize our activity and our growth. We want to make sure that decisions within the projects are data-driven. And primarily, it is a marketing need to make data-driven decisions. We've learned a lot about this last year when we've conducted over 70 ad campaigns to basically identify the right sources and methods to acquire users for our wallet. And with that knowledge, we're ready to go more aggressive once the referral program is ready, once all the features that we've announced today, not really all, but some of these features as we're going are being released, we'll be able to satisfy, let's say, promotional needs that each of them require. Another big milestone from last year is that we've kind of got together and created a cohesive branding and messaging for Pillar, which not only gives you a better understanding who we are and where are we going, what are our values and what is the mission behind this project, but also help us to scale this communication. So help us involve other parties like marketing agencies, freelancers, influencers, and create this unified communication around our biggest goals, our problems that we're solving, and so on. And last but not least, we've set up also an analytics stack. So the backbone for this data-driven decision framework that we want to implement across the company this year. Really excited about this one. In marketing needs, basically crucial thing to make sure that we're spending money where we can get the best results. So doing campaigns, creating campaigns that will result in bigger user base, bigger community, more partnering companies, or more token holders. Because this is the whole landscape across which we see the need to do this 10 times, at least 10 times growth. We see all these pieces being wallet, ecosystem token, and ambassadors/community working together to kind of, in conjunction, create a bigger experience for anyone who is either joining us as a user or is building with us this new open data economy. Transparency was always in our core, and events like this one today are manifesting it the best. We want to start leverage this core value in our marketing as well. And we're quite sure that if we're able to share this kind of data and this kind of detail of how we operating and what are our goals, we'll be able to open doors for more collaborations, for more partnerships, for more adoption as well, because people are looking for genuine and open projects. First attempt to make it happen is we're applying to the Messari Disclosure Registry, which is a very notable effort to set some kind of standard within blockchain/crypto world and kind of incentivize these disclosures by projects to be really open and transparent about how we operate. So soon you should see this badge next to our name. We're also looking for other rankings, certifications that will give us some more exposure and will help us leverage this transparency that we have, because we consider it something that can really help us make the difference in our growth. Next one, ambassadors. I just want to say big thanks to all of you guys who are with us, who are catching up, keep on ideating about new initiatives, adding new people to the group, and also testing new frameworks that then we will be implementing in our wallet. So today we're working in a group of 12, 15 people who are brainstorming about these different initiatives that we can go after together. And we as Pillar want to also fuel that discussion and that interaction by setting up a monthly community fund, which will be allocated due to ambassadors' votings. For this specific reason, we're implementing what Drew already mentioned, this DAO framework, and we've set up the Ambassadors DAO, which will help us coordinate better and which will let us vote on the best spend for this monthly community fund that we've set up. It's also a learning curve for us to see how this framework really works with, let's say, DAO ignorant group, and how then we can implement these learnings in making friendly, easy to use, and straightforward social piece to Pillar Wallet. And I believe that the last slide I have is shout out to our support team. I'm looking at Alden, but I'm looking also at all our agents across the globe. 24/7 live in-person support in our wallet is still making a difference within this industry. And we're extremely happy to say that we have over 1,500 cases in the last half a year. The average response time is 3 minutes, and over 90% of people who get to the support went back happy and satisfied with what they've got. But it's not only the listening to, it's not only the helping customers, but it's also listening to customers. So voice of the customer, your feature requests, it's all the project under the customer support team. And we're really thankful for making this bridge between us and users and help us better understand how we can also enhance the app so the Pillar experience is just better. I would think I said everything about marketing, but I think there is one more thing. Michael is back.
Jacek, Jack. Thank you. The Pillar Payment Network, the PPN. We are very much excited about this initiative. The fact that it is one of the first platforms or wallet that has created a very good scaling solution on the layer 2 as a layer 2 for the Ethereum platform. But another aspect to it is if you look at the existing payment system, let's take the UK as an example. In 2018, there were around 7.4 billion transactions with brick and mortar businesses. Out of those, there were around 380 billion raised or money transferred through those. And out of those, the retailers had to pay over 1.3 billion pounds in transaction fee to the card providers and all the other companies that are in between. Now, the trend is towards a cashless society. Again, if I take the same stats on the UK, it is projected that by around 2022, around 66% of the transaction would be card-based as opposed to cash. So we've already passed the inflection point where cards are used more than cash. So what better way to tap into that by leveraging the infrastructure we have on the PPN and creating a viable alternative to the existing payment network. That's what the PPN, one of the areas we're exploring. We're exploring with various partners. Oops. My finger pressed it by accident, my apologies. So we are engaging with quite a lot of partners in enabling this. But with this, there is also the responsibility that comes with the regulation. When we are handling payments and processing payments, obviously we would have to engage with the regulators. But we are engaging with the regulators anyway. From the 10th of January, the UK Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, the gold standard of authorities when it comes to finance, has been assigned or appointed as the regulator responsible for crypto companies within the UK. What that means is we have been going through a registration process in being registered with the FCA. That is a good thing for us because we want to engage and work with the regulators. And within the next couple of weeks, we will have a result for you guys where we would be making such an announcement once we have gone through the registration process. Obviously, that would entail responsibilities from our point of view in terms of how we conduct ourselves. But we are in good hands at the moment. As you saw from Jack's presentation earlier on, we're even going through Masari in terms of transparency and self-disclosure. So this should be a good step for us. So, but we've said a lot of things in terms of what we can do and what Drew said and what Jacek said and what Jack said. There are quite a lot of things that are planned for the year. So can we afford all these things? Yes, we can. How? As things stand, our short-term and long-term assets equal to $15 million. And obviously, these details would be highlighted in the Masari report, which you can find every little details of our financial position as soon as we finish the registration with Masari. And not only are we relying on the funds that we have at the moment, we have also created a revenue stream already. All the partnerships we have achieved so far, they have got a revenue stream attached to them, a rev share. And with the potential of what we will be achieving in terms of the collaborations, the partnerships, and now so far, this will be increasing in a dramatic fashion. And that's what we expect. Quite a lot of the people in these communities some of them are untapped in terms of the various possibilities and potentials that the crypto space offers. The PLR token. The PLR token is obviously the utility that we are going to be using in our ecosystem. And as such, in fact, come July the 17th, there would be 120 million PLR tokens that would be unlocked. That will be part of the treasury of PLR. Now, we intend to use these tokens as part of our engagement and access to our community. How? As Drew mentioned earlier on, we will be using them for promotional activities, for referral campaigns, as a premium account access, as a discount for some facilities, maybe paying the gas tank in pillar tokens, etc. So the pillar token will be used to engage our own community, not for exchange for speculatory reasons or anything as such. So be clear, those 120 million tokens will be very useful in terms of driving the utility of the tokens, the pillar tokens. So all in all, I mean, would you guys really believe me if I were to say to you, in a year's time, I'll be telling you, oh yeah, you can have a payroll streaming service within the Pillar wallet. You can actually get an insurance for your digital assets within the wallet, and you can even earn interest in your digital assets within the wallet. You can lend them. You can invest them. In fact, you can even exchange them peer-to-peer without having an intermediary around, just within the wallet itself. You can organize your networks as the DAO that was mentioned, and you can have group projects, etc., within the wallet. And also, you can join untapped communities like Dank, Web 2 based communities, which we are enticing to come into the Web 3 world. You can be part of those communities. With all that, you will be doing it while you are in control of your own data. That's what Pillar is all about. That's what we're headed to. That's what we expect to achieve within the next 12 months. Now, this concludes the main bulk of the presentation. However, slightly deviating from our previous experiences, we did engage with our community to send us questions that you have. And thank you for sending quite a lot of questions that are very engaging. And we will be answering those questions. So Vitor, Drew, Jacek, if you guys join me in answering those questions, and Alden will be reading out and giving us those questions.
The first question is for Drew. I thought there was going to be a Pillar marketplace in which items could be listed for purchase by other viewers. Is that not happening anymore?
That's a good question. No, it's actually definitely still on our roadmap. But this, we really see this facilitated by the existence of secure and intuitive personal data management. As you can imagine, with the transmission of goods, fulfillment, it requires shipping addresses, various other information to be shared from peer to peer, especially in a decentralized situation. So, this will be further facilitated by our exploration and our movement into personal data management. And in fact, in terms of actual partners and to facilitate the peer-to-peer marketplace with no middleman side of it, we've recently been speaking with the Origin protocol team, and there's a lot of interesting opportunity happening there.
Good question. Sticking with you, do you plan to implement some sort of mixer for privacy transactions?
Love to. Vitalik himself has mentioned the importance of mixers in terms of preserving privacy and anonymity in the space. Our goal is to avoid the potential dystopian futures of what blockchain can lead to, and to really provide decentralized solutions in a safe, secure manner, private manner. These are very technical and complex solutions, though. The primary in the Ethereum space at the moment is really being led by Tornado Cash. And if you're familiar with that platform and protocol, the amounts that are needed are very specific, and it's not kind of a free-for-all. You put some in, you get some out. It's very, very specific, and as a result, requires a really intuitive interface, and something we're looking and watching really closely again, and we're looking to introduce and facilitate, hopefully even in the background through something like the Pillar Payment Network.
Cool. Moving on to Michael. Is there a demand for the Pillar wallet, and where is this demand coming from? Are there laws in Congress that will help the transition for Pillar to succeed?
The demands, I suppose we can see, are from the communities that we are engaging with. Again, with the Web2 communities, and millions of them, we're trying to convert them into the Web3 world, bring them, entice them into the Web3 world. That is a massive demand. We're not going after individual users, but we are after the communities who can benefit from this. In terms of regulators, Pillar is an open source foundation regulated by FINMA. So we work very close with FINMA. We also operate in the UK, and as I've said already, we work very closely with the FCA, and we are in the process of registration. And the FCA being the gold standard, we would hope the US would follow the same suit, and we will engage. And we are open to engage with any other authorities that regulate financial or any crypto space.
All right, thanks. Sticking with you, the next question is, what is Pillar's projected price target per token to be able to call this project successful, and what is the projected time frame for that price target?
To call Pillar successful is not hinging on the price. Pillar will be successful or not successful on the adoption and the engagement we get, the utility we create for the token. In terms of talking about price and targeting, that's not what we do. That is speculation. The whole ethos of Pillar is to create a utility where we are in control of our data. So equating Pillar success with token price is wrong. It's a wrong metric.
All right, thank you. I'm not going to let you go just yet. The government took all of Very tokens from its founder. How do you prevent that this will happen to your project?
Man, it is, again, I can't comment on those specific details because I'm not privy to the details. But as far as Pillar is concerned, I mean, I'm repeating pretty much the earlier response in that we work closely with the regulators. We're going through the FCA application. We are approaching FINMA, and they have approached us, and we collaborate and we work together with them. So what it is the regulators are our partners. So it is a partnership. We understand. So with this in mind, we don't believe any of that will happen to us because of the channels of communication we have created.
Thank you. All right, final question before I move on to Vitor. Can you clarify to ICO holders your relationship with 2030 from ICO and today? And how is Pillar integrated into the 2030 platform? Many people are confused about this.
We actually did address this issue in our last AGM. 2030 has people that run it, which were part of the founders of the Pillar group, the Pillar project. However, 2030 is a separate company to Pillar. 2030 is a company with its own aspirations, with its own intentions in terms of success. Pillar being an open source foundation, we've got our own governance, our own structures. These are two separate entities. So much so, we have no staff that we share with each other. We do not have any offices that we share with each other. These are two independent companies. At some point in the past, yes, there was an overlap with personnel, but that hasn't been like that for over 6 months. These are two separate companies.
Thank you, Michael. The next question is to Vitor. After BTC is up and running, are there any plans for Litecoin or any other blockchains to follow?
Sure, as long as it makes sense. The objective is utility. The objective is to make the token useful within the larger ecosystem of the wallet. When it benefits us to bring another blockchain to the mix, for example, Bitcoin, which had a very large demand, we implement so. When it doesn't benefit us, well, we'll do when it's possible. That's about it. A question of prioritization.
Thanks. Sticking with you, During the recent bull run, we've seen some projects fail along with with their token values going to sub-ICO price. The Pillar token has been sub-ICO for over a year now, and this has been very indicative of failure or potentially the company going to zero and dissolving. With such a low token value, what assurances can you offer to the longevity of this project?
I do like the question because it's asked about the longevity of the project. No, it's the longevity of the project is actually doing good work. You know, sensible treasury management, sensible partnerships and roadmaps and plans to get utility going and moving. That's all we can do really, and what we've been working hard at doing.
Cool, thanks. Next question is to Jack. What will it take to get mass adoption of the Pillar wallet?
Well, that's a nice question. I think we're trying something new here, and I see a big potential in this adoption through communities strategy that we're applying in 2020. I think that if we identify large groups, engaged groups, which needs a place to get together, exchange assets, you know, engage into some kind of games or just social interactions, and that way kind of get them into the world of Web3, making them more familiar with these technologies and these solutions. We might find out that in a few years, basically everyday Joe will know that by using DeFi, he will be able to earn some interest, or he'll be able to pay in real time or get paid in real time. So there are very, very promising achievements on the Web3/blockchain technology front, and by implementing them and by making them more familiar, abstracting them from technical jargon, I think we're on the way to way more massive adoption. So I'm looking forward to that time. It's exciting to see all that evolving to that way, but no dates.
Thanks, Jack. The next question is to Vitor. Back to you again. Last year, there was a lot of talk about the SDK. What is the status of the SDK, and are you aware of any companies using it? If so, could you name any?
Sure. Well, first let's change the conversation from the SDK, because as we stated before, there's not a single one. First, we're consumer focused, so we're in the last stage. We're offering a wallet direct to consumers. This means SDK is not priority. We're not building infrastructure. At the same time, we do have different interaction points with our platform that are used by our partners. So we have multiple small SDKs that tie into the platform multiple different ways. But offering these SDKs as a platform is not our business, not our core focus. Our core focus is to put a wallet in every phone.
Cool, thank you. Next question is to Michael. Where do you see the Pillar payment network in 1 year?
The Pillar payment network in 1 year, if it is up to me, it would be replacing the existing payment system in the brick and mortar shops. So you can use your wallet, you can go and use the PPN, make a payment to the shop without going through any of these existing systems, and the settlement happening immediately, not in the next day, not in 2 days, immediately. That's where I would love to see it. And that's what we will be working towards. We would also be working with other crypto payments in terms of payment streaming, etc., because this is ideal, the PPN. It handles over 15,000 transactions per minute. And this is massive. When you think of the existing layer 1 networks handling less than 10 per second, this is huge. So we will try to capitalize on it. We will talk to various partners, both within the crypto space and the existing financial world. We will try and get, because this is what we have started doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question is to Drew. Where do you see Pillar in 1 year? Pillar meaning company and the Pillar platform.
It's we've talked about actually in the past. This is a good question. We talked about in the past how we've kind of been lumped into this general kind of wallet category, and that's that makes sense. We've marketed ourselves as such, but we've always come from a different place, particularly from the data management side of things. And I'm really excited about, and the things that we touched on related to, again, personal data management, identity management, how this applies in true utility and market use cases with social organizations and financial services, and being able to create a really robust platform for solving market needs across the board, not just asset storage, not just financial and decentralized financial services, and not just personal data management, but being a leader in that conversation of your portal to the entire Web3 world. I think we have set out a very ambitious plan, one that we are really working hard to hit. And by the end of this year, we'll be able to realize the first steps towards that vision.
All right, thanks. Next question is to Vitor. When are you planning on incorporating exchanges with large volume into the Pillar Payment Network?
Sure, that's a good question. The PPN has two major pieces. One is the infrastructure that powers it, which are the network itself, and the other us providing synthetic assets to be transferable across it. So it's core part of the utility of the PPN is to needs liquidity, so you can create these assets across the board. So we're reaching out to multiple liquidity providers, to exchanges, whatever makes sense for us to be able to do that. Can't really comment on specifics before they happen, but we're actively engaging with them. As part of the internationalization efforts as well, we might be looking at liquidity providers in markets where right now you can't have access to the token. So, for example, more exposure on the Asian market. This will be part of the thoughts over this year.
Thank you. The next question, still for you. What was the goal of the partnership with NEM and Radix last year? We never heard about this again.
Sure, yeah. So we met with NEM and Radix quite early in the project. Have a lot of respect for them, but right now I have a very focused roadmap on where we want to go. I have a very clear vision on what we want to deliver, and they're not in the roadmap right now, so they're not a priority for us at the moment. Lots of respect to them, and well, best of luck.
Cool. Do you plan on using something like DigiID for login and security?
Sure, not exactly DigiID. I'm really fond of DigiByte. First, has the most amazing community. But a lot of the technologies we're putting in place are similar to what DigiID has achieves the same objectives as DigiID has. Our work in self-sovereign identity, decentralized identity standards. So yeah, it's similar to DigiID, is not DigiID.
Cool. Following up with you still, is Pillar currently pursuing any more exchange listings in 2020?
We kind of touched on that with the other question, right?
Yeah.
So yes, we are, as long as it makes sense for liquidity, for utility, for making sense for the product, we will search for ways to provide liquidity to the token. So there's not a search for speculation, but it's a search to make the token useful.
Last question. Why in the Pillar Payment Network are there so few meta tokens and liquidity? I only see BAT and ETH.
Yeah, sure. And you're right. That's what's there right now. There are these two pieces we talked about of the PPN. One's the infrastructure itself that powers the very fast and transactions and fee-less transactions. And one is our ability to provide liquidity for synthetic assets. Last year, we built the infrastructure piece. It's in place. It works. It works very well. We provide part of the liquidity, so we have this model that actually works. And this year, we need to work on providing liquidity and more synthetic assets.
Next question is for Drew. Is Pillar working on developing any hardware devices?
No, I know that was touched on early on in the project, the possibility of us moving into hardware, but you know, we're following the market trend, and right now there's a tremendous amount of demand, and we see the focus on software having a greater impact in terms of being able to provide value to our users than focusing any sort of resources on development of hardware solutions.
Cool. Touching up on DeFi, will we be able to stake Pillar token and earn interest on it?
Good question. You know, that's something we probably will look to explore in the future. Right now, it's not slated. You know, Pillar in and of itself is meant to be a unit of account powering our platform directly, offering premium services through subscriptions, possibly discounts on others. That's really kind of the focus in terms of value provided. Right now, we're not really focused on creating some sort of a interest-bearing or staking model around beyond the Pillar Payment Network tank and channels.
Got it. Next question is for Vitor again. Any chance we will be able to transfer paper wallets to this wallet without having to do it ourselves using Litecoin, Bitcoin, Digibyte as example?
Oh, sure. That's a common feature for Bitcoin and Litecoin for UXTO based coins. As we explore the UX for Bitcoin and for other similar chains that we might integrate, this is the kind of feature we're going to add. We just released Bitcoin.
Awesome. Next question also for you. Will your SSI offerings be compatible with networks like Sovereign?
Sure. Yeah, I think. Yeah, definitely. Self-sovereign identity is useful and it grows across borders. Not only borders between countries and jurisdictions, but borders between systems and platforms. It's a core component of you being able to own your identity. So this is why we can't do this alone. We work this in extremely cooperation with everyone in the ecosystem. So we can build these standards. That means we can work together and can work across borders regardless of what kind of borders are.
All right, thank you. Next question is for Jack. Who are Pillar's primary competitors and what sets Pillar apart from them?
It's Pillar General Meeting, so I'm not giving any airtime to my competitors. I can speak about different categories that we're kind of competing within. So currently we're in the category of ETH and ERC20 token wallets, and this is where we see a lot of competition right now. Also moving to another category, which we're joining soon, being smart contract-based wallets. And from there, with our Bitcoin being about to be graduated from the early access program, we will be also in the category of multi-currency wallets. So we'll be facing many veterans from this industry, really. But we're bringing some fresh approach to all of this, and we hope that we will differentiate from them, because we were always thinking about ourselves at not just another wallet, but something more. So within the scope of our, let's say, mapping of the industry, we're also looking at the privacy-focused apps, focused around data sharing, around messaging, all these things. But we're kind of convinced that no one is proposing such a platform or overarching approach that Pillar is trying to propose. So we're looking at different projects on how they're tackling specific features that we're implementing, but we treat ourselves as a one of a kind and our own category, and we'll keep on get inspired, but not too worried about competitors. All the best luck for all the projects in the space.
Thanks, Jack.
We only want to make friends.
All right, next question is for Drew. Can you announce dates for integration of other products and services into the offers engine?
Dates are always hard, but as I mentioned, we have 4 new partners already in flight, already going through development, some in the very final stages. For the offers engine, again, to reiterate, Kyber, Bancor, AirSwap, 1inch. We've already identified a couple of new ones, and we really see that space in terms of decentralized exchanges blossoming and growing. Personally, I think that decentralized exchange is going to eat centralized exchange lunch. So, and that's what we want to see. Again, you own your assets, you're in control of your finances, and eventually, hopefully, we get to a pure peer-to-peer market and exchange solution as well.
Cool. Next question also for you. Will the Pillar wallet integrate, leverage the 0x protocol for DeFi?
Yeah, actually, on the back of that, and I kind of touched on it in the presentation, 0x has been hard at work on their protocol in terms of offering a robust solution for aggregating decentralized liquidity pools and market makers and exchanges and swaps, they will definitely be part of our roadmap. In fact, we technically are already working with the 0x team through the implementation of Radar Relay, which already exists as a partner in the offers engine.
Cool. Next question for Vitor. Is there technical feasibility to extend the rainbow payment channels from one-way to two-way trade swap functionality? For example, person A wants 1,000 pillar, person B wants 0.9 ETH locked into the contract, and both parties agree until both sides are fulfilled.
That's a lovely question. I love questions that touch. Yeah, that's definitely a very, very cool question. Yes, a state channel in our implementation has what we call primitives. Primitives are the fundamental items of actions that it can do. Right now, it can send on a primitive we're also integrating right now, together with the Connects team, is an atomic swap between channels. So yeah, that's intended as part of the Pillar Payment Network.
Cool. Next question is for Michael. Are there any plans for one to liquidate their crypto to fiat using the Pillar wallet, not just for holding tokens and coins, but especially, converting it back to fiat and in African countries, especially?
Yes, that is when we talked about earlier on about the brick and mortar shops being involved in the PPN payment. That is exactly what it is. You go in and put in your prepaid card equivalent by charging your Pillar token, your Pillar wallet account. That gives you pretty much a digital version of your fiat currency. Then when you go and spend it in the shop, the retailer gets that fiat currency effectively and immediately settles on their side because it's a digital currency. Then you can withdraw it as fiat. And we are working, collaborating in this space with regulated companies in terms of attaining that the fiat off-ramp or the space where you convert it to fiat. And the use case you've mentioned in African countries, this is exactly the solution that will work for them. Why? You do not have to put up with the pricings of the existing establishments in terms of the card payment system, the credit card payments, the banks in between, the aggregators, etc. There are about 8 different parties that facilitate these payments, and they take a cut. In the UK, and because of the EU regulation, the interchange fee is about 0.2 to 0.3%. If you look at the US, if you look at Australia, this is humongous. I can dread to imagine how it would be in the African continent, where these transfers, micro transfers, are key. And leveraging the blockchain network as an alternative to the existing card payment mechanism is key, and it would really be extremely useful. On this note, if you do have any contacts in that space, please reach out to us. I would really appreciate it.
All right, that was the last questions. Thanks for answering all the questions, and thanks for everyone sending in the questions, and hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, and Jacek, Jack.
Whoever. I just want to say again, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for all the questions. And there are so many of them, and we need to go to sleep at some point, that we'll just take them all and try to answer them either in our videos in coming weeks or in some Medium piece. You can always pop into our Telegram room. You'll find the link on our website, and you can ask all these questions as you go. It's not one time in winter and one time in summer that you can ask us questions. We're very active, and we're looking to engage with you in our groups. So stay with us, and let's realize this beautiful dream that we have ahead of us right now.